Crimeans overwhelmingly chose to secede from Ukraine. On Sunday, 96.77% of voters there opted to join Russia. The Russian president has signed a decree today recognizing Crimea as, quote, a sovereign and independent country. The Russian parliament will take up the issue of whether or not to accept Crimea into its borders later this week. The U.S. said it would not recognize the vote because it believes it was carried out under the barrel of a gun. The State Department wrote, international community won't recognize results of a poll administered under intimidation from Russian military intervention. The head of the Referendum Monitors Commission, Polish MP Mateusz Piskorski, told RT that he saw no signs of intimidation at polling stations. He said the referendum has been organized professionally, considering there was very little time for all the institutions to prepare, all the staff for polling stations and for electoral commissions. Now, RT's Paula Slier has more on how the vote went in Crimea this weekend.
Well, it's a very cheerful and festive mood here in Sevastopol. As you walk down the streets, people are waving the Russian flag. Many people actually have the flag draped over their bodies. There are also cars honking their horns and driving down with the flag out of their windows. The same mood is being experienced in Sevastopol and other cities and regions across Crimea, where the overwhelming majority have voted to rejoin Russia. I was speaking to a man who summed up the mood when he said, "We feel like we're going home." Another woman telling me that people here have always been Russian in their soul and they've been waiting for this day to come. The mood is also experienced by the international observers who are giving a positive critique of this referendum. They say that everything went according to plan, that there were no reports of hiccups, or at least no major hiccups, and that everything went smoothly. The Crimean authorities have officially declared independence from Ukraine. This is something that they said they would do prior to this referendum, and a delegation from the Crimean parliament is currently on their way to Moscow.
The main issue now is to adapt Crimea's financial system to Russian standards, to coordinate the use of both Russian and Ukrainian currencies, and the energy issue. In terms of security in the Republic, I can say that we have no problems with providing it. Law enforcement agencies work round the clock.
The Crimean parliament has issued a formal request to the Russian parliament to take them in. The Russian State Duma is scheduled to hold a session on Friday to discuss this. The Russian President Vladimir Putin will also need to sign off on it, but certainly a festive mood here in Crimea, where, as another person summed it up, this is the best day of his life.
That was RT correspondent Paula Slier.